Hey folks, my name is Mo Amir and this is VANCOLOUR, British Columbia's bona fide culture and politics TV talk show. I hope the kiddos are in bed because tonight we're going to indulge in a few adult substances. Wine, magic mushrooms, and Nanaimo bars. Let's kick things off with BC wine. Following a severe cold snap in mid-January that devastated Okanagan Valley grape buds and vines, many grape varietals have been wiped out for the season, some maybe for good. But it's not just the Okanagan that's affected. Some Fraser Valley wineries may suffer since some of those wineries buy Okanagan grapes to make their wine. So just how bad is BC's wine industry hurting? Here to discuss is a business advisor to the wine industry and the host of the TT Wine Explorer podcast. She is Tania Tomaszewska. Tania, hello.
Hi, thanks for inviting me today.
Oh, for sure. So after this deep freeze that we had in mid-January, just how badly has the entire wine industry or wine production in British Columbia been affected?
Well, it's been a devastating and quite frankly, a heartbreaking start to the year. As you mentioned, there was a deep freeze. This was in January, where temperatures in the interior and the Okanagan, Similkameen, and other parts of the interior of BC fell well below 20 degrees centigrade. In some areas as low as minus 27 to minus 30 degrees.
Wow.
So it wasn't that it was only just really cold, but it was the duration of the cold, sometimes more than 2 or 3 days at a time. The upshot of this is that that is a killer for the crop. And so unfortunately, what that means is a lot of the grape variety plants, the buds, we don't think survived. It's estimated that as a result, close to 97% of this year's crop that would be grown is wiped out.
That's in the entire province?
That is the entire province because the majority of our wine production in British Columbia comes from the Okanagan Valley.
Right.
So the preponderance of it. So it's estimated 97%. So it's estimated 1 to 3% of production this year will happen, largely from the Fraser Valley, which you mentioned, and our coastal wine region, Vancouver Island, Gulf Islands. But again, as you mentioned, some of those producers rely on grapes, which they source from the interior. So although that they will be able to grow grapes, they too will be affected. So it's a huge loss for many people.
Wow, yeah. So when you say 97% of crops are basically wiped out, can we put a dollar amount on this in terms of the entire industry? How badly are they affected? How much money have they lost?
Yeah, good question. Well, it's a lot. So I don't know if we can be exact in the quantification, but to give you an example, Wine Growers British Columbia and a consulting company called Cascadia Partners released a report recently which estimates that the loss of revenue to wineries and growers will be about $350 million.
Wow.
That is from this acute event.
Wow.
But on top of that, it's estimated that another $100 million will be lost or incurred by distributors, suppliers, logisticians who work and partner with the wine industry.
Yeah.
So what does that put us at? 450 million estimated. And then I think on top of that, and from altitude, remember that the wine industry here in British Columbia is a really integral part of agritourism and our economic structure. Many other parties, tourism, hospitality, they work in tandem with the industry. So the numbers could be huge just from this set of acute events.
This is a really bleak picture that you're painting for all of us. Does this mean that individual wineries are expected to basically go bankrupt or go under this year?
Time will tell. When each winery right now will be looking at its own position and how it can best weather the storm. So when looking at that, for the winery itself, does it have a lot of inventory in stock that it can continue to sell in the next year or two? Remember, when I'm talking about this crop wipeout, it's about the grapes that we would have expected to have been grown and harvested later this year.
Okay.
So, right now, wineries have wine, they have stock. So they're going to be looking at their inventory. They're going to be looking at what they grow, where their position is, their economies of scale, how mature their business is. I think that from my observations, there's so much passion and resilience driving this industry that owners and growers, they want to work hard to weather this, to keep the lights on, to keep their teams employed, and try and navigate, these events and challenges that are coming from Mother Nature and externally. It's been a hard couple of years. And just to add to that, part of this assessment, I think, will become more clear next month. April is generally the time of what we call bud break.
Okay.
So when I mentioned the crop wipeout and the destruction from January, that is from the buds on the vines. There's also the root system. So basically there needs to also be assessment as to whether or not the roots of grapevines have also been damaged beyond rehabilitation, which would mean if anyone has that issue, they will need to rip up and replant or decide whether to do so. So this is the business side, not only about how much it costs to replant, but also remember, if you have to wait 2 or 3 years for those brand new vines to produce fruit to make wine, that's also time you need to wait to have stock. So there's lots of factors for people to say, we're going to charge through, but how do we do this best? And some people might decide, well, maybe we'll retire.
Does that mean that BC wine might fetch a premium just because there's a limited supply that might be in the market?
Yeah, great question. So scarcity, like any good, can drive up prices. So as consumers may have noticed in the last couple of years, wine prices from everywhere have gone up.
Along with everything else.
Else. So yes, there will be less BC wine available in the market. So I expect you can assume some pricing to go up. By how much, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Really quickly, we have about a minute left.
Yeah.
Should I be canceling my plans to the Okanagan to visit wineries? What should I be doing?
No, don't cancel and make the plans to go.
Okay.
So as I mentioned, wineries have wine. They have stock. They're welcoming us. They're ready to receive us. In fact, Easter weekend is often the big kickoff weekend for the season. Hit the roads, see spectacular British Columbia. A lot of wineries are upping their experiential game. It's not only tasting wine. There can be food involved, learning about the land, tours. There's a lot to see. There's a lot to do. They're not closed. Go and visit.
So there's still a lot we can do to support our wine industry.
There's so much we can do. So in addition to hitting the road and visiting our beautiful BC wine country from home, armchair travel, get online. Maybe you have some favorite BC wineries. Sign up for their newsletters. Join their wine club, send them a note, give them support, try some BC wines you've never tried. If you get surveys about what you'd like to drink, hear from the wineries, write back. I think that also such an important part of this is raising awareness and knowledge sharing. We, the consumers, we can do a lot to share the news between us. Knowledge is power. And I think that we can be part of supporting what I think is a really layered an important part of our culture in our province by supporting and hopefully being part of the regrowth and renewal that must come from this. So thank you for inviting me to speak about this today.
Well, thank you. And I have so much gratitude that you're able to, again, shed light on this and, again, educate consumers and wine lovers across the province. So thanks so much for your time tonight.
It's been a pleasure.
Folks, make sure you check out her podcast, the TT Wine Explorer podcast. She is wine professional Tania Tomaszewska. Now, after some business, magic mushrooms are not legal, but according to a high-profile drug policy reform advocate, maybe they should be? Dana Larson makes the case for shrooms up next.